Are we ready?
All right, ready.
No bras required. The podcast where two girlfriends talk about everything from diapers to death and do it all braless and brutally honest.
I'm Megan. I'm a mom of four, lifelong educator, dance studio owner, coffee and wine snob, and never afraid to speak my mind.
And I'm Patty, mom of three, teacher turned leader, dance boss, loud laughter, tequila enthusiast, and professionally unfiltered.
Together, we've got over 30 years in education, 7 kids, 2 studios, countless bottles of wine and tequila, and a whole lot of stories to share with you.
What's No Bras Required all about? It's a space for women like us who are juggling life, entrepreneurship, parenting, work, marriage, friendship, grief, joy, chaos, and just need some real talk.
So, whether you're sipping wine in leggings, hiding in your car, or rage cleaning your kitchen, we're here for you. Hey, Patty.
Hey, Megan. How are
Yes.
you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm not on holidays, so I'm not as good as you, but I'm doing okay.
I know. I'm on a crazy wild road trip through California. So,
Nice.
yeah, I have only panicked once today on a scary, windy road, and otherwise, I've done pretty good. So, see how it goes. Yeah.
There you go. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, we're having a good adventure. So, all right, should we get into it? Because we got a big one today.
We do. And I think it's fitting for the season.
I think so.
Yes.
All right, so today's episode is called Sparkles, Scores, and Reality Checks: Why Dance Competitions Aren't the Real World.
Yes. So, uh, today might ruffle a few rhinestone feathers.
Yeah, we're talking about dance competitions. Because if you've ever sat in an audience for 9 hours watching 47 lyrical routines to the same sad piano song,
You may start asking yourself, what are we actually preparing these children for?
yeah, because here's the truth: competition dance and real world dance are not the same thing.
Yeah. And we're not here to bash it, but we are here to unpack it because there is value in these competitions, but there's also some unrealistic expectations being sold.
And maybe a few mortgages being paid out. So if you're a dance mom, a studio owner, or a dancer who thinks that a platinum medal equals a career, this one is definitely for you.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's get into the competition world bubble. So, competitions create a very specific version of success. There's the scoring systems, platinum, high gold, etc., which is basically inflated validation.
I mean, sometimes there's triple titanium, diamond, crystal. Other
Yeah.
times it's some weird name. But basically, if you really dig into it, everyone wins something.
Yeah.
Very rarely is it truly first, second, third, gold, silver, bronze, the end. Everybody gets something, which is not reflective of real world rejection or what it's like in the real world.
No.
And if you watch in the competitions, at least the ones here in the US, and I know our competitions are a little bit different than how you guys do it in Canada, but I think
Yeah.
you're shifting more and more to our crazy world of this. But it, there's multiple categories of multiple levels that people can put their kids in. There's constant debate in the dance world of do people follow the right suggestions and the number of training hours and the skill ability for each level. But then within that, you have the adjudications. And most of the time, if you look in the program book, it'll say, like, oh, we have, let's just keep it simple, platinum, high gold, gold, silver, bronze,
Yeah.
right? I mean, even though that's not really simple, but we're just going to
Yeah.
go with that. But if you listen to the awards, nobody gets below a gold.
Oh,
So why do we have silver and bronze?
exactly. And I have literally had this conversation with my dance parents for the last 3 weeks. And I think it's really important to understand as a parent and as a dancer coming up. I think older dancers know this because their teachers have told them. Um, the marks are stupid. I'm just going to say it. The marks are stupid. As somebody who has sat on a panel as an adjudicator, I have been told that I'm not allowed to give anything below an 85. This is now becoming standard in the dance world. I've also been to competitions where the adjudicators were shocked that they were still allowed to hound out a bronze and didn't do it because all of the other competitions that they work for wouldn't allow that and they felt bad doing it. So we're not only creating this grading on a curve to avoid hurting feelings, um, we're also biasing our judges to the point where they can't give an honest review anymore, which I find quite earth shattering. Um, the other thing I think people need to know is there is no, it's not like figure skating, for example, where if you're going to be a junior, you have to perform these technical requirements. An intermediate level would perform these requirements. Advanced or senior have these requirements. And you would assume that that would grow
Right.
in technique, in skill, in which in like elements that must be in a dance. But quite often, if you're really watching, you're going to see, I'm going to use fouette turns and push turns as an example. The groups that put those in, wildly influenced by the UDMA,
Mm-hmm.
um, tend to score well, but then everything else might not be at an intermediate or senior level.
Right.
It might be fancy formation changes and some strong lines and arms, but you're not seeing jumps, other styles of pirouette. You might not ever see a turn on the left side. You might not see a jump on the left. And so, are we
See a
actually,
pointed toe.
you might not, yeah. What is the point of a fouette or a push turn if you do not have a stretched leg and cannot sustain it from the hip?
But
But
if you can
whatever.
do it all together, you look really awesome. And you may not even go all the way up on releve. You're doing it flat-footed, but you guys are together and it's a
Yeah.
show-stopping thing. Same with UDA.
Yeah. And the other thing that happens too is competitions are now their big business and it's become a game for studios if they choose to partake in the game, which means you might have your senior dancers that should be in an advanced level category dancing with intermediates and juniors in order to bring the average age down so that they can win those overall scores.
And those little ones are just props.
They're
And they come
fillers.
in, they fill the time while the seniors set up for the next trick or the next big thing.
Yeah.
And they come on and do something cute and then they run off. And they're literally in the dance for maybe 30 seconds, but it's enough to pull that age category down. And now they're sweeping everything in the teen category or the junior category. And yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's a game. And the same thing here. Same thing here. Um, and the categories are so crazy. Like
It's
it's you have so here what has often happened in the US is we have recreational, we have intermediate, we have advanced. Recreational should be kids that are dancing in the studio less than 3 hours. That's usually what they say. So it's by hours. Well, how do you judge your hours? Is it hours of technique class? Or is it hours in the studio where you're practicing your dance? So a lot of kids, they will dance 10, 15 hours in the studio, but most of their studio time is practicing their competition routines because
Yeah.
that's what they do in their classes, and their technique time is under 3 hours. So they will put themselves in the recreational category, and they're up there doing Alsacon turns, aerials, triple pirouettes, these crazy switch leaps, and they're competing against kids who have just learned how to do a grand jeté, maybe can do
Yeah.
a single pirouette, who are working on pointing their toes and having some kind of any like performance ability, because that's what a recreational dancer does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how is that fair? And when you're judging it, I mean, you and I have both judged, how do you even compare? It's not apples to apples. And because we don't have a standard set like gymnastics or figure
Yeah.
skating where it is
Yeah.
these skills are in this level and these skills are in this level and these skills are in this level for this age category, right? And you get extra points if you do these things. And then the artistic merit is like the one subjective piece.
Yeah.
Everything is subjective. I mean, we
Yeah.
have to tell our kids it depends on that judge that day and what they're looking for and what they value and appreciate. If a judge is super into entertainment and show stopping and tricks, then the ones that are pretty much acrobatic routines and gymnastics with a little bit of dance are probably going to win every
Yeah.
time. If it's a judge who really wants to see strong technique and great choreography, which you have no control over as a dancer, like none. But in ours, when we're talking about points, like choreography is usually like 10 to 15 points. Costume is like
Yeah.
another 10 points. Well, you didn't get to pick either one of those. And really, that's just your personal taste. You may love my choreography, or you may be like, what is this? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
It's all subjective. So it's frustrating when we are making this like the epitome for kids
Yeah.
of let's you want to go and perform, and some people pay thousands of dollars to go
Yeah.
to these competitions. I mean,
Yeah.
when we were doing them, I had families who going to a competition between solos, duets, trios, a group dance in every style that they've
Yeah.
trained in. So, ballet, tap, jazz, musical theater, hip hop, lyrical, contemporary, sometimes modern, plus production, plus whatever. I mean, they were paying $700, $800 per kid
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
one competition. And that doesn't count the hotel, that doesn't count the food for
Nope.
the weekend, which isn't a weekend anymore. It's Thursday to Sunday from 7 a.m. to 11 or 12 p.m. every single day. It's so
It's a lot. It's a
much.
lot.
And like, here's the deal, friends. Just because you won first overall, because not only, this is my favorite part, not only do they get, and this is how we do it here, every category, you have recreational, intermediate, advanced, right?
Yeah.
You have a category for each style of dance. So you have, let's say, all the tap dances that go in the recreational. Well, depending on the competition and how big it is, there might be three or four. Two of them might be yours if you took two dances.
Yeah.
And then those get first, second, third, fourth overall. And then they take all the different styles, tap, jazz, ballet, lyrical, modern, hip hop, musical theater, all the thing, acro, open, whatever they call it, clogging, all the things. And then they do like, oh, well, now here's the overalls, not just for your recreational, intermediate, and advanced, but now here's highest score for this, and here's
Yeah.
highest. Like everybody's winning some kind of trophy, overall, something. Everybody's walked away with a platinum or high gold, whether you actually earned it or not, and all these extra trophies. And you all think, like, oh, we're fabulous and amazing, which you are for you, but you're not actually comparing apples to apples. It's
Yeah.
like apples to oranges to bananas. We got a whole fruit salad happening. And as long as you won something, your mom and dad are happy. They paid all that money for you to feel like you're great. And then these kids go into the real world and audition, and they're not even making the college dance team. They're not making any audition that is happening with any company anywhere because
Yeah.
they start to realize, like, oh, I spent all my time learning these dances to go to competition, and I learned that one dance for that one style for that one year. And if I could do the stuff, then maybe I got more advanced skills. But if you couldn't, you were a really cute background dancer.
Well, and did you only do them on one side?
Correct. And
So
then,
now you've unstabilized your body and yeah.
yeah. And I mean, and it's like there's always the one person who can do everything. So they're the trick person that they throw out there, and everybody else is doing really cute arms. But you've learned that one dance and that's all you focused on for a whole year. And then you realize, like, I don't know anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, it's really important to note that if you don't work on your character development, and I mean who you are as a human and as a teammate through this process. So quite often you see these elite teams where you're either cutting it or you're not, and you're kicked out, which we could get into a little bit later, but it doesn't promote a safe space for dancers to try their hardest.
Hmm.
If they're always worried that they're going to be replaced like that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
there's a whole mental aspect side of that. But when you get to the top, when you're in your high school years and you're amongst the top, what people fail to realize, and what I think teachers are failing to tell their students, everybody is talented there.
yeah.
Everybody is good. And so you might be one of 40 people competing for a job. And what the people hiring are looking for is how you walk into the room and treat the other dancers. How did you treat the check-in staff at the audition table with, like, when you're handing in your headshot? Are you a decent human being? Because when everybody's talented, they're more willing to work with a less talented dancer who isn't an a-hole
Hmm.
than take on the most talented dancer in the room that's a diva.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is that, I mean, if we're really going to talk about, I mean, we're going there.
We'll
What
go there.
we're going there. Um, Performance versus employability, right? Competition
Yeah,
dances
yeah,
promote tricks, they promote facial expressions and those winning moments. Like it's all about that one shock and awe thing, whether it's this amazing leap section or Alice turns, changing spot, doing these like floats and all, this crazy
yeah,
turn sequence that you've drilled and drilled and drilled. I mean, look at UDA. That's what it's about, right? And that is what competition dance is turning into, is that's what
yeah.
they want. But in the real world, what they are looking for, and like you just said, is your adaptability. Are you able
Mm.
to take on different styles of choreography and different choreographers' artistic styles and
And,
adapt into that and look good doing it?
and how fast could you make that transition?
Right. And how
Because you're
fast,
not going to get 6 to 8 months to practice.
right. And perfect it and have them
Yeah,
sitting there. No, you got like really you got the time they teach the combo. And are
Yeah.
you able to pick up choreography fast? If you are learning a dance over 8 to 9 months, most studios start in July. They don't compete until the spring. And this is all you've done week after week for 30, 45 minutes at a time, just practicing and practicing and practicing and drilling and cleaning. There is something to be said for that ability to keep working on the same thing over and over again without
Yeah.
getting, getting bored or shutting down, right? But it's the are you able to pick up that audition choreography quickly and perform it and look really good, right?
Can
And
we talk about the looking really good? Because you brought up the like facial expressions.
yeah, make some facial expressions, Patty. Please make some facial
Oh,
expressions. Let's
I will do
let's have a moment. Let's
I
do
will do
it.
every competition facial expression because I call it vowel face. This is what we call it in my studio. Here's A. A.
E.
Hi.
Oh,
I
wait. There's two O's. There's the
know.
O,
And there's a
and then the O. Yeah, and then the oo.
I hate vowel
Wait,
face.
and then there's the constipated face, and it happens in Korean
Oh,
contemporary.
and all of the teenage angst.
And yeah, and it looks like you're constipated or you're about ready to poop your pants, and it's terrible. Oh, it's so terrible.
That was fun.
That was really fun because I enjoy doing that. And I like to play back a long time ago when I'm not with kids, but like if you watch a competition, when Adele was really big, it'd be like
Yeah.
a fun drinking
Oh
game
yeah.
of like, okay, you have to take a drink every time an Adele song comes on.
Yeah.
You'd be trashed within an hour
Yeah.
because everybody did the same song.
Same songs. Yeah.
And here's the other thing with like, let's talk choreography about this. And I know I'm going on a tangent, but the stealing of choreography that happens for competitions is
Yes.
rampant. You
Yeah.
can put, I mean, we see it on Facebook all the time,
Yeah.
but that is a huge issue is that a lot of these people, a lot of teachers, I mean, one, they're choreographing hundreds of dances for competition every single year. They
Yeah.
start to run out of ideas, but
Yeah.
they're seeing stuff on YouTube, they're seeing stuff on TikTok, on Instagram, and then they'll take pieces of it. And like it's rampant where people are like, I did this dance, and they put them side by side together, and it's like, here's the entire thing
Yeah.
copied.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody uses it for inspiration or to get some like different variations of turns or different styles of jumps and arms and to stay relevant. But there is a right way to take inspiration from a sequence that you see, and then there's blatant copying and laying it into yours and claiming it as your own.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just,
I actually had this conversation with a teacher. I think it was last year, and she's like, "What is your rule for like copying?" And I'm like, "Well, I was always told 16 counts. If you do anything that's like exactly the same for more than 16 counts, that's copying." She's like, "Really? I was told 32." And I'm like, "Interesting." So I think there's like different variances on that too. Um, but you have to give credit where credit is due.
and it shouldn't be something that you do for competition. I mean, if if you are borrowing a combo to do for class and you're like, "Hey, I saw this really cool combo on
Yeah.
TikTok. This person choreographed it. I really liked it. I think it's something we
Yeah.
should try." That's fun. You're giving credit. You're not going to video it and then post it. Great. Have that inspiration. Have your kids try on different styles. But it's when you put it out there and you put your name on it. And
Yeah.
they assume when we say that you're the choreographer, I mean, you can't put 12 names on there in the competition. So, and there's people winning choreography awards and all the dumb judges awards that they come up with. Best most inspirational song, feeling, blah, blah, blah. And so if you didn't
Yeah.
get another award, you get a judge award and they made up something
Yeah.
for you, wrote it on a ribbon and you feel
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
Um, it's it's just frustrating. It's frustrating. Like it's such a I wish parents understood how much of a racket it really is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of studios push it to be the end all be all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you think about the return on your investment, right? You are making this investment. You are spending thousands of dollars. If you are a dance mom, you know this. If you're a dance dad, you really know this because usually you're the one who's walking around the competition with the shirts with the money on it and be like, I'm the credit
Yep.
card. And
Yep.
it's so much. And what is that return on your investment?
Yeah.
Is it a positive one? Is it going to help your kid get to where they want to go? I mean, if you were just there for the camaraderie and the fun and just the experience, then
Yeah.
great. But
Yeah.
if you're hoping that this is going to turn into something for your dancer, you would be better off investing in summer intensives, in doing winter camps, training in
Yeah.
different places, private lessons, any.
Or taking them to competitions where they're going to fail and be at the bottom. Because nothing develops drive and character like not placing and having to like being with people who are doing better than you.
Right. But good luck finding one. I mean, that's becoming more and more of a problem.
Yeah.
And I mean, even the adjudications, but like you guys get the adjudications, right? Like where they talk over it, or do you just get paper?
There, no, no, we get video adjudications largely. There's still a few paper ones
Okay.
um, where nobody can spell the
Oh my God,
terminology.
cannot. No, they cannot spell any technical term
No.
whatsoever. And I'm like, and these are the people who are adjudicating you. And it's very clear that they did not go to school and nobody sat there and told them that they had to know how to spell all of these terms. Like I
Well,
had to
for we
embellish
have
myself.
writers. We have writers largely in Canada. So the adjudicator's
Oh,
talking and they have somebody sitting beside them writing.
really?
Yeah, and
Where did you
sometimes they're
go?
good. They're sometimes the writers are good and well versed and they know how to spell because largely it's a lot of French terms.
Correct. Spell it.
Um, yeah, but yeah, no, but we're largely video choreography with the voiceover onto which I prefer because then you know where in the dance they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like you might have a section that repeats, and it's like, well, where did that happen, and what are you talking about, and who was downstage left at that point? If you're
Yeah.
like downstage left dancer, like
Well, ours don't
where did you
call
say that?
dancers out, but yeah, so we
Oh,
have video um with the voice and then they'll type comments sometimes. Like some of
yeah,
them
they
will like
can.
rate and either handwrite or type the comments for the scoring sheet. But you don't, that doesn't go into the video.
Yeah,
But like in tap, it drives me crazy because I'm like, obviously, you know nothing about tap. Like, your shuffles are not together. And I'm like, well, that's not a shuffle.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's not a shuffle. Or, oh God, what are some other ones they say? And then I'm just like, what are you, uh,
Forced arches on cramp rolls. I got that one once.
like they want you to just stay up there, toe hold, take a little
I'm really
pose.
not sure, and when I heard it, I just stopped listening because I was
Yeah.
not impressed.
Yeah, they called paddle and rolls or paradiddles shuffles. And
Yeah.
it was like, what is happening? Like
Oh,
I
wow.
don't even know. Yeah. I'm just like, okay.
But
Uh,
it is very hard. I will say, like, it is hard to find. an adjudicator that's well versed in everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do like our conventions are really good at trying to make sure that the teacher who teaches that style is
Yeah,
the one judging during those hours. So they at
yeah.
least have like the tap person on the panel during when they're going to
The
have
tap section, yeah.
and hip hop on the panel for when they're going to have hip hop. But they also have all of those teachers who are well versed in that style who are there and who can actually speak the correct
Yeah.
terminology and understand the style best versus like a ballet judge who is trying to judge hip hop. And they're like, I love your groove. Really
Yeah.
great job. Use your
Get
plie.
deeper into your plie.
Yeah, deeper in the plie or like tap. They're judging and they're like, make sure your sounds are really loud. And it's like, okay, well, there's a nuance. In tap, you should have some loud and you should have some soft, and it shouldn't be banging around the entire time. Like if you're really a skilled tapper, there's dynamics to it. It's music. And yeah.
There needs to be some shading and dexterity in there.
Right. Or I
Yeah.
love when they're like, your syncopation. And we're like, it was on the beat. It was like choreographed to be on the beat. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
we understand the word syncopation and what it actually is?
No.
Good
No.
times. Right. It is very hard. And I will say for competitions, it's very hard for them to hire judges who can do it all.
Yeah.
But I, yeah, that whole return on the investment piece is what I keep going back to.
Yeah.
It just
Well,
doesn't
I've
translate.
no. And just like back on the choreography kind of too, like in the competition world, the dance is built for you,
Right.
but in the real world, you have to fit into the dance
Yeah.
or with your team or yeah.
And most of the time in the real world, like I tell my kids all the time, like go to Disney World, go on a cruise. You guys go do stuff like this all the time. You travel all over the place. You
Yeah.
guys have tons of disposable income, well, your parents do, and you're like doing all the things. Pay attention. Go see a Broadway show. What are they doing in those shows? Look
Yeah.
at the dancers who are the ones who are working dancers. Look at the dancers who are at Disney, who are the working dancers, the ones on the cruise ship. They are not doing all the second turns with changing spots and having
What?
a turn sequence that happens. They are not doing more than usually a double pirouette. Everything is precision and clean. I
Yeah.
mean, there is in choreography and Broadway shows now, they are getting a little more like you'll see an aerial here and there, but it's usually like a fun trick for some special part of something.
Yeah.
It's not what you're doing in your competition dances. It
No.
does not translate at all. And their technique is top notch, top notch.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, let's get into the emotional narrative of it a little bit too.
Mm.
So I quite often find so as far as the dances go, like competition dances lead into like that big emotional storytelling or trauma heavy, and it's not always appropriate for the age group that it's being set on.
Mm-mm.
Um, but again, like in the real world, not every job is about feeling your big feelings on stage. Like sometimes and largely it's about the enjoyment of movement.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do happy or joyful? Can you be nuanced in your emotions? Like, what if in a piece of choreography you get to feel four things?
Right.
Do, do you have the vocabulary to do that?
Well, and let's talk about the appropriateness of what happens on stage
Okay.
because these competition dances, you've got 10-year-olds who are dancing about heartbreak. What 10-year-old knows about heartbreak?
I don't know.
I mean, unless they're like Labubu got lost on the recess field, like I,
Love that.
I mean, it's like, or they didn't get the Roblox money that they wanted for Easter or something. I mean, what 10-year-old is even capable of portraying heartbreak and loss and or the ones that are dancing at 8 years old to Man Eater?
In a bikini while twerking.
Correct.
Yeah.
Crotch shots left and right,
Yeah.
barely dressed. I mean, I even have trouble with 16 and 17-year-old girls up there in basically a bikini doing sexualized movement when you have at our competitions, pretty much anybody can show up and come inside. They don't, they
Yeah.
can't contain the audience to be like only parents, only, there's no background checks on anybody who comes in.
Yeah.
So, and you don't know who these people are, and typically pedophiles, men, but it could be women too. But
Yeah.
they're there watching these kids do these overly sexualized things. We're not even going to get into the debate on tights versus no tights. And half of the time when you're like looking at vaginas falling out
Yeah.
because they're not butt glued and the costumes are not appropriate.
Yeah.
And, and we're putting kids on stage in front of strangers doing this.
Yeah.
These aren't your protected teen parents that you know and are there for them all the time. And like it could be anybody. And
Yeah.
they say don't video, they say all the things, but they're not policing the audience.
No. No. And I always have a hard time with this because I parents will say to me, we don't agree with the costume, but that's what their studio, like that's what their teacher picked, or that's what their studio owner picked. And I'm like, but you continue to go back year after year
And you paid for it.
and you paid for it. And I I have trouble with that because I'm like, I understand if all of their friends dance at that studio and your child would be upset, da 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 da. But when they're asking you to not invite grandma and grandpa to this dance because of what they're wearing, that is a red flag.
Hmm.
And your behavior, you might tell your child you don't believe in it, but allowing them to do it and allowing them to do it consistently, your actions are speaking louder than your words. And this is why we have groups like the youth protection
Yep.
advocacy and dance. Like, we never had that when I was growing up because your teachers cared about you as a person more than they cared about winning a trophy and the shock value.
Right.
So the fact that we have like organizations like this now, like to me, if we're making our money as studio owners and as teachers off of children, we have an obligation to protect those children like they are our own.
100%. 100%.
Like, full stop. What are you doing? Girls should not be in therapy because of dance.
No.
Like, I love everything about being a dance teacher. I love everything about dance the way I do it. That sounds so cocky. But I truly, I just for the life of me cannot understand in this day and age with all of the information that is out there about the harm in sexualizing young girls why anybody would stand for it for a stupid plastic trophy. Honest to God, for the amount of money you spend in dance, you could buy them 10 of the biggest trophies.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
go do that and save the therapy fees when they get to be 12 and 13.
But and here's the thing we keep going back to. It doesn't matter. their technique, their training, the
Humanity.
consistency, the discipline that comes from it,
Yep.
being trained correctly so they don't get injured. They're not doing things that are developmentally inappropriate for their age. And
Yeah.
so much of that I see these little tiny people doing these ridiculous, like, leg extensions and overextensions and being pushed down in splits and trying to get themselves extra flexible. Y'all, when we have 12-year-olds that are having to have hip surgery,
Yeah.
when they're
Problem.
having to have their ACLs reconstructed, when they have all of these injuries and that are overuse injuries, that should tell you that there are a lot of unsafe practices happening. Your kids should not be constantly injured. And if they are, there's a problem in their training. They are not being trained and conditioned appropriately. And I get it. I get parents don't know. You only know what you know, right? So you go in and everybody in your town is like, "Oh, you should sign up for this studio. They're the best. They win." And you're like, "Yes, this sounds great." And all your neighbors' kids go there and everybody goes there. So you think, "Let me go here because this is where my kids' friends from school go and they want to dance with them." And you don't know anything about dance. You don't know anything about training. You don't know what to ask. You don't know what to look for. You don't know what is good, what isn't good.
Yeah.
And you're listening to a lot of other untrained people and then TikTok and Instagram, and you're like, well, why isn't my kid doing this competition? Look at these kids. And it's like, well, your kid's not there yet. Like, there's training. There has to be a solid foundation. It's like building a house. You have to have the solid foundation before you can go and build up. If you don't, and you just start trying to do all these tricks and start trying to do these advanced moves without that solid technique base, that's where the injuries happen. That's where the burnout happens. That's where kids are getting hurt. And that's on the dance teachers and that's on the studio owner who's allowing that to happen to these kids, all for the sake of a trophy, all for the
Yeah.
sake of more kids, more money. Look at me. I want to be the best.
Yeah.
And to hell and high water with how that works for that kid.
Yeah.
Not okay.
No. No. Oh,
I
we
know.
can get hot. We can get hot about
We
stuff.
really can. But I think you and I get really hot about it because we are so focused and based on protecting kids
Yeah.
and doing what's best for kids, not only physically in their training and training them properly and well from the get-go, but also mentally and
Yeah.
socially.
Yeah.
And like we value that and we built our studios around those values. And so when we
Yeah.
see the harm that is happening to kids in this industry by people, and I wouldn't say they are all intentionally doing it and
No,
understand
not at all.
what they're doing. I don't think it's nefarious. I think it's just out of ignorance. A lot of dance teachers in the US have never trained outside of growing up in a studio.
Yeah.
Maybe they did their dance team in college or not. Like some
Yeah.
18-year-olds go out and decide to open a dance studio because they danced their whole lives and this is what they dreamed. They don't go to college for
Yeah.
dance. They haven't trained in proper pedagogy and technique and all of the things. They're basing their teaching off of how they were taught, which may not have been correct because we don't have a standardized board of certification and
Nope.
training.
Nope.
So anybody can go out there and teach and
Yep.
choreograph and
Yep.
own a studio. And you're putting all of your trust in them because, well, they were winning competition dancer and so they
Yep.
can do this. And you're like, great. And they're teaching your kid how to do aerials and back walkovers and trying to do these backflips that, they could break their neck. They don't know how to spot train or anything. They're just having them try it just for fun.
I have a story about this. Actually, I've got two
Go.
that happened in my studio. Um, we had a student, this was years ago, that she started late and wanted to catch up with her peers. We do exams in my studio. So I'm like, well, I can start you here. We're going to have to do some private lessons in the summer, but we'll help you reach this goal. Mom didn't want to pay for private lessons. And their neighbor was an elite dancer from another studio in our town. And I was like, okay. And she goes, could you just give me a list of steps that she needs to know? And I'm like, yep. So I wrote out all of the terminology and like some combinations that she would have to do. And the next week, one of my adult tap parents came up to me and said, Patti, I need to ask you about this list. And it was the list of steps I had written out. I'm like, well, where'd you get that? And she goes, well, it was my daughter that was going to teach. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, I knew it wasn't going to be okay. I just didn't know who the kid was. I didn't ask. And she goes, like, are these actually like basic steps? Because she goes, like, my daughter danced all the way through high school. Like they won all of the gold medals and trophies, but she doesn't recognize a single one of these terms.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, this was like a grade 1, 2 level exam, like very basic. Like,
How do
didn't
you
recognize Tondu.
stop?
Yes. And
Oh,
so and this mom, like, God bless her, like she's also a school teacher. So I took her and I said, well, no, this is very, and she's like, really? And I'm like, come here. And so I took her and showed her our syllabus, like all of the grades laid out. And she's like, you have this for every level? I'm like, I have this for every level in ballet, tap, jazz, anything we teach here. I have a curriculum, battle tested, proven, like we know what we're doing, and so do our dancers. And she was like, yeah, we're not going to be able to help her. And I'm like, that's okay. But she's like, I feel so betrayed. I thought we were getting a quality dance education because she won all of the trophies. And I'm like, yeah, trophies don't matter. And I'm like, also, studios can pick and choose which competitions they go to, knowing that they're going to get trophies,
that right there.
right?
Say it again.
So it's
Say that again, Patty.
studio owners can pick and choose which competitions they go to that will showcase their studio in the best lights.
Yep.
Um, I have a theory on competitions, and this is how I do mine. We go to 3 with our whole company. Well, then we do select ones with solos and duets. We allow our parents to choose. But I want them to go to one where they do well so they can feel good about what they're learning. One where they have to really work, and one where they basically get their butts handed to them on a platter to keep them humble and realizing there's more yet to come.
Mhm.
I'm not there yet. I'm going to keep, and I every year I'll have parents like, why don't we go to this competition anymore? I'm like, because we won it. Like we're the top studio. Why would we keep going back?
Yeah.
Like, I
Something
want your
new.
kids to sit at the winners table in the rooms where it's worth sitting.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't want trophies lining my studio walls. I like we give ours away every season at the end to so just for that purpose. I do not want people walking in and seeing wall to wall trophies and getting the perception that that is all we are about, because I will sacrifice a trophy any day for a good life lesson.
absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
that's exactly why we stopped doing competitions. Now we will let the kids compete at conventions. So
Yeah.
conventions are where they spend the whole weekend learning
Training.
and
Yeah.
training and taking classes. And and there's still a game that goes with that. It's still a lot, but it does teach them to learn choreography quickly, be able to perform it, and be seen for it, which are
Yeah.
skills that are actually translatable if you want
Yeah.
to go on with dance. We
Yeah.
allow solos, duos, trios to compete at convention so they can get some adjudication that they can, and we even have some, like some of our elite small groups.
Yeah.
But the majority of our time in the studio is spent training and going through our curriculum and working towards exams and improving in their skills and being
Yeah.
able to track that, because that is what parents are paying for. They are paying for that training and for their kids to get better. And we can provide a ton of amazing opportunities for them and performance opportunities to build those performance skills that don't cost my parents their mortgage, that are educationally sound, and and give those kids those opportunities to feel good about themselves in a place that is safe, that I can also control who's there.
Yeah.
And those are the things that I think are the most important. I
Yeah.
do value the performance experience that comes from them being on stage. I think that is
Yeah.
extremely important.
Yeah.
Dance is a performance, it is entertainment. They should build those skills. That's why we don't just do conservatory training where they never really perform, right? We want to
Yeah.
offer lots of performance experiences. It does build their confidence, like you said, if it's done well.
Yeah.
The team bonding that happens, and working towards a goal together and having to deal with the highs and the lows, and sometimes you're the person who's like killing it and then your partner falls apart, and how do you help them, how do you pick them up? Did you
Yeah.
forget your choreography? Did you have that blank moment that happens on stage? It happens to everybody. Like
Yeah.
all of those things are great things, but they can also be built and done in a program without all of this extra nonsense. And
Yeah.
the amount of money that you are shelling out for this, it's hard for me to justify parents spending that much money on something that truly doesn't matter.
Well, it doesn't see, and I have a love-hate relationship with competitions. And I am I say this to my kids and my parents all the time. The best part about competitions is the water slide.
Oh, the pool. It's
Yep.
the pool at the end of the
That
night, right?
that is where teams are built. And I
Yep.
actually, for the first time ever in our this past competition that we were at, had a parent come up to me and say, "Thank you so much for encouraging our kids to use the pool and the water slide and get together." And I'm like, "Well, of course." And she said, "My daughter's friend, they're not allowed to." And I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "No, at competition, because they're there to win. So you're going to be too tired. You're going to," and I'm like, "Too tired? What kids are like, yes, it wears them out, but it's like, you're not doing it before and staying up all night. Like, they're going for a dip in the pool. And then if we've conditioned them properly, they should be able to go swim and do their routine. I think they'll be okay." But I was just like, wow, like, what are what are we doing? What are we doing with these kids? They need time to. I'm always telling my parents, take them out for ice cream together as a group after they've
Yeah.
performed. Go celebrate. Um, like, yes, let them use the water slide. Let them get the noise complaints from the hotel staff because they're running around like banshees, having a good time and being kids.
Order the pizza and sit down in that commons area and just let them play. And moms get a couple
Yes.
bottles of wine and sit and have that village. I mean, that
Yes.
is the best part, is when they go away together and you're out of your norm and they just bond. I mean,
Yeah.
for my son's baseball team, that's the best part of when we go on
Totally.
tournaments, is the pool and the hotel, and they're like having a party, and spending that time together. Everybody at the
Yeah.
Mexican restaurant ordering,
Yeah.
85 things of chips and salsa. I mean, those are where the memories are made, not
Yeah.
in the actual event. They're
No.
not going to remember it. That's the other piece.
No. Like, do you remember the only trophy I remember winning as a kid or as a dancer was when I forgot my routine and I made it up on the spot and I won a big trophy for it. And I was like, What? That's not supposed to happen. And the second one was we had props and there was like just this thing that went wrong, but it was really funny. And we came off stage and my teacher was bawling, laughing. I don't remember what we got as a score, but that's what I remember from my competition time.
Yeah, I don't remember the scores at all. I remember the dances that I loved. I remember doing
Yeah.
anything goes, and we had the cutest little outfit, and that we got to wear high heel top shoes, and I thought I was so fancy.
Ooh,
I
shoot
remember,
fancy pants.
yeah, oh, they were so good. And then I remember like some of our dances, that and it was all about the dance. What I loved about the dance, like whether it was the song or the costume. Um, I remember the hotel. I remember playing in the pool. I remember like traveling with my friends. I remember when we learned too legit to quit. I know I'm telling my age right now at Tremaine and hip hop class, and we had to too legit, too legit to quit, and we had to do the whole hand movement while we're moving around, and it was like you had to go home and practice. Also, the Tremaine arms
Oh
and
my gosh.
yes,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
everybody knows this because this is what you learned, and you like went home and you were like, "Let me practice, 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 practice.
Yeah.
I've got to know this." Um, that's what, like, those are the things that you carry
Yeah.
on with, not what place we got. I'm sure we got things and trophies and whatever, but like they didn't matter. It was being with your friends, having that weekend,
Yeah.
getting out there, trying your best. I mean,
And that was back in the days of one silver, one bronze,
yeah,
one gold. And thank you very much, everybody else. Please go
correct.
home.
Yeah,
And we turned out okay.
we sure did.
Like,
Not everybody needs a trophy for breathing.
no.
I'm a huge, huge proponent of we all don't need a trophy. All right,
Yeah.
so let's talk about what we should be teaching. And we've talked about this a little bit more, but I think we need to like come back on it. So we need to shift the focus. And I challenge our dance world to
Yeah.
shift this focus because I think
Yeah.
we've gotten so far down the competition road. And I think we're taking advantage of parents and in this economy and where things are. And let me be really honest, parents, and I'll probably get in trouble for this. Almost all of that money that you pay for that competition, it is not going to your studio owner. In fact,
Yeah.
most of them don't put in any extra for it. It is money in to money out.
Yeah.
And we'll talk later this month about like profitability and things like that for studio owners, but it is it is just a pass through. It is
Yeah.
all going to those competitions. It's going for that cheap $5 trophy, or some aren't even doing trophies anymore. They're doing like metal license plates and like
Pins
pins
and
and
ribbons and yeah.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
crap that you can go to the dollar store, you can buy it for yourself. Um, so what are the things you think we should be teaching kids?
Um, well, I say this all the time. One perform the only person I want them to listen to when they come off the stage is their teacher.
Hmm.
Because I know where they started at the beginning of the year. I know where they're at competition time, and I know where we're headed. I'm the one that knows if that was a good performance or not. And they know if it was a good performance or not. An adjudicator gets a snapshot of it. And just an example that I use with my parents is if I was able to have access to your bank account and take a picture of your balance at any point in the month, does that give me an accurate representation of where you are financially? And it's because, like, is it the beginning of the month and you just got paid and no bills have come out yet? Is it a bad month where the car broke down? You had dance comp fee payments, costume fees. Oh, and it's Christmas next month. Like, what's the real story?
Hmm.
And that's the exact same as looking at a dance on stage in that moment. Another example of that, and I'm going to go back to competition this past weekend. Um, Charlie's ballet group kept replacing themselves on the leaderboard. Like they got in first with their jazz, and then their point bumped their jazz out. Anyways, it ended up being their ballet group that got on the leaderboard, and they were in sixth place going into the dance off. And I did a little poking the bear psychologically backstage just to light a fire under them, and it was a lot of fun. Um, but they came out with second place. So which one of those two dances was the right one?
Hmm.
And the valid, like, right? So you cannot. It was in the same day,
Yeah.
a couple hours later, and it went from a sixth place to a second place. So it's live entertainment, it's live performance, and we need to be mindful of that. I think the thing we need to teach our parents is you hired us. Please trust us to do our job. Let us be the coaches. Let us give the corrections. Your job is the support system. And nothing will ever replace the way that your child sees you the second they're done the routine.
Yep.
If you come in like this, they're going to feel bad and like they did something wrong. If you're like, oh my God, I could never do what you just did, that was so brave. And you give them a big hug and you're like, we're going for ice cream with your group. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, ask them, did you have fun? That is
Yeah.
the best question to ask.
Yeah.
Did you have fun up there? Because that's
Yeah.
the most important thing.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for. They're there to have fun and enjoy it.
And learn and learn. Like
And
that
learn.
was when we got back to the studio this week. So we were at competition last week. My question to the kids was, what is one thing that you're going to keep and redo, try to redo because you know it went well? And what is one thing that you're going to try to fix or change because you don't like how it went down? And get them into that act of self reflection, but let them answer for themselves.
Mhm.
Also, I think for teachers, there is a time to correct and a time to let them sit with what happened, good or bad.
Yep.
I also think it's really important for studio owners if you're going to post the marks and you're going to celebrate, please
Celebrate.
celebrate everybody. Celebrate the bronzes as much. Well, there's no bronze anymore, let's be honest. Please celebrate those high golds as much as you do your platinums and your triple encrusted ruby,
Diamond, titanium, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, uranium statue, not uranium.
Oh, that's like radioactive.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting to
It's helping them
politics. I
glow.
couldn't hear.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
mean, yeah,
yeah,
celebrate all kids, celebrate their growth. I mean, and that's the thing that we talk about a lot is
yeah,
their growth from point A to point B, how proud we are of them in handling rejection, because there is some rejection when you're not
yeah,
top whatever, or you got the high gold instead of the platinum like you were hoping for and wanting. How are you going to take those corrections? How are you going to take, I mean, and hopefully you're choosing your studio owner or you as the studio owner choosing competitions that are going to give you decent adjudications and
yeah,
actually give you corrections and things to work on and not just tell you that everything's fabulous and wonderful and you got a high gold.
yeah,
Great. Well, that didn't help us. Like, it's supposed to be educational. It's supposed to help you have a different set of eyes on what you're doing, give them that feedback and those corrections because it's just like moms and dads, they don't listen to you, but they'll listen to us as their dance teacher. We can say the exact same thing and they're gonna be like, oh, Miss Patty said this. And you're like, oh my gosh, I've said it for every day for like the last 2 months. Miss Patty says it, now you listen.
yeah,
Same thing. We can give them the same corrections a million times. All of a sudden it comes from a judge's mouth and they're like, oh, what? Yes, no, you're still not stretching through your knees.
yeah,
How about you try doing that? Well, yeah, how do and then they care and they want to work. Amazing. Like that is what can come from this that can be helpful. Um, but
yeah.
that's not what everybody uses it for.
Um, one of my favorite things, just being the teacher on the side of the stage, is there's two looks your kids are going to give you during adjudication. One is like, I don't want to say shameful, but they'll like, the adjudicator will tell them something that you've been telling them for months, and they look at you and you're like, that's right. And they're like, oh, sorry, we're going to fix that. Like, especially with the older ones. But I love that they make eye contact with you first. Did you hear it? And the second one is when they get complimented for something that you have been working towards, and like they give you that look like
Yeah, we
it's
did
that
it.
shared like, yes, we've got it, we did what you told us to do, thank you. Yeah, I love those moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And and that's really what it's about. That's the point, is the adjudication and helping them to grow as dancers and grow as performers. And I mean, there can be
and
great
people.
in people, but there can be great things that come from it. It's just we've gotten so far away from that it's frustrating. Um,
I'm gonna just add too, I think I would really love for all studio owners and teachers to talk to their children about winning gracefully. I
mm,
I think most talk about like, if you don't get the results you wanted, like, we've got to do this and this. But I think there's something to be said about teaching your children in your care, like at your studio, how to win with class.
mhm, mhm.
And like, years ago, there used to be this thing called theater etiquette, where there wasn't hooping and hollering and all of the things. Now we're kind of becoming more like a sporting event. Like, hip hop, I think, is one thing, but like in a ballet, like the woo, like I'm like, what? Like that doesn't have,
Get
I'm
it,
old.
girl. Like, what are we getting?
What are we getting? Anyway, but but I still think like, be mindful of where you are and
Mhm.
how your acceptance of being recognized may affect others.
I love the ones that, when they call them up, you get whatever, third place
Yeah,
overall, fifth place overall. They come up, they stand in fifth position, they're there, they look classy, they thank the
yeah,
judge or whoever's handing them the award. They give a hug to the other people who were by them, or they tell them congratulations and
yeah,
like
yeah,
that's what it's about.
yeah,
I like, look at me, I need a moment. Like, yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
Don't be the diva, because people don't forget the diva, and they also don't forget the ones that are real at heart, and you don't know who you're auditioning for next week.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. So, if your dancer's identity is built on scores and placements, what happens when that goes away?
And it will, because no one is handing out high gold at auditions, jobs, or life.
Oh man. I kind of wish they were sometimes though. I'd be like, "Oh, that was platinum today. I feel like I should
I'm
get a platinum award
gonna
for
wear my
that."
pins to work
Yeah,
just to show
all of
you
them. Just
that
put them all on my jacket. Look at how many
I'm.
pins I have. Yeah. And it's just a lot, friends. It's a lot. So I would love for competitions to be a tool and not the goal,
I like that too.
right? It's a tool for learning, for education, for getting better. Real success equals adaptability, resilience, and longevity.
Ooh, yeah. And really, parents and studios need to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Think about why you put your child in dance. Was it to win trophies, or was it to build their confidence and get them out of their shell and to belong to a community and a team?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So just, if you're in the competition world, stay in it, enjoy it, take your kid to the water slide, but don't lose perspective.
And let your kids sparkle on stage. But also prepare them for the moments when there are no judges, no trophies, no standing ovations, no get it, girl, over and over again from the audience.
Yeah. Because that's where your real growth is occurring.
Mhm. And that's what actually builds dancers and humans. who last. And that's the
Yes.
point.
Yeah. So thanks for listening to No Bras Required, where we keep it real, supportive, and just a little spicy.
Sometimes a little spicy. All right, we'll see you next time in our month of talking about the dance studio world, where we will tackle another spicy dance studio world topic and put our fresh no bras perspective on it.
Yeah.
See you next week. Our goal for this podcast is to be that village where we can have those deeper conversations. We can talk about the serious things and walk each other home from diapers to death and all the things that come in between, but also to bring the humor and our crazy squirrel moments and all of our funny stories that we've lived, from parenting to entrepreneurship to just being us, and the adventures that we come up with. But we want to build a community and be those people to give you some sound advice that, you know, maybe makes you giggle a little bit every once in a while.
So thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, share with your favorite hot mess mom friends, and give us a follow on Instagram at No Bras Required Pod.
Every week, we'll drop a new episode tackling everything from marriage and mom guilt to leadership and loss, with humor, heart, and maybe a little tequila or wine. So bring your favorite drink and join us every week.